Hello and welcome back to HD Racing, and welcome to the Quick Look series once again, where we endeavor to take a look at every single car from the Forza GT series for multiplayer. And today we are gonna take a look at this 2018 Acura NSX GT3. And like with the Audi last time, I will show you first a race, and then afterwards we are gonna take a look at a Hotlap comparison so that you can get a good idea of how good this car is, how it drives, how it handles, and yeah, just generally where it is good and where it is not so great. And for now, let's take a look at this race start at Mid-Ohio at night, starting in P2 and actually managing to get a good start against the Corvette. But he's still on my inside, so I'm a little bit careful here because I know that you can easily get pushed off, but he definitely leaves me enough space. There's a little bit of contact, but nothing major. And yeah, for this next corner he didn't really manage to get into a defense position and I get the inside, but then, well, we get stuck a little bit together. I didn't have any throttle on, but still I was kind of pushing him to the outside. I felt a little bit bad for that. At least he didn't go off track, but you know, there was some weird Forza physics going on again, because I didn't feel like I wanted to push him. I was steering right, not accelerating, but for some reason we were just stuck together. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Maybe I was also a little bit too fast, I don't know, but didn't feel like it. But yeah, for this next two corners I now had the Porsche behind me, who was bumping me a little bit, but again nothing major. And well, we are finding ourselves in first position here for a change. So yeah, actually managing to get away from those guys behind as well, because there was a little bit of an incident. It seems like there are also some penalties being handed out. But I'm gonna tell you right now that this won't last this time. It's not like with the Audi race last time where I just go into first position and then it's nothing interesting going on anymore. There is gonna be some interesting stuff, let's just say it like that. What I want to say, because I need to correct myself there, this Acura NSX, like the Audi last time, is available in the race day car pack. And I was under the impression that you could only get the car from that race day car pack. But that's actually not true. If you own the race day car pack, you just get these cars for free, both the Audi and the Acura, but you can still buy these cars with credits. So there is no pay to win going on here. I mean, it's nice for people to have them if they bought the race day car pack or just have the premium edition, but anyone can get and drive these cars. So just a correction from last video. But now I want to get your focus on the race again, because we are coming up to, I think, the most difficult section on the track, especially for this car. Going here over the crest on the left, the car gets really light and, well, this happens. I go into the gravel, and that is partly due to how difficult that particular combination of corners is, I think, but also due to the car. As I now find myself in third position, I was lucky that I was even able to come out there as I did. Could have been even worse with going to the gravel, but now it's, well, I have to try to catch back up. And now I also have another guy behind me who is, well, somewhat pressuring me from behind and, well, trying to get by, as I try to get back to the two guys in front after that really unfortunate mistake. But yeah, let's actually now start to talk about the car. You could see one problem area already. The car can get very unstable in certain sections, in certain situations. Overall, I would say the Acura NSX is a very lively car. It feels nice to drive, but is quite a handful. I would say that it is definitely not a beginner car. It is a car that is, well, quite oversteery, quite snappy. It definitely turns very well, but it also sometimes turns more than you want. And especially through that section, I'm going to take you through that one again. So this left over the crest, trying to line up for the next right-hander here, which is a little bit, well, it's not as slow, and then you have to brake for this a little bit sharper right-hander. That is definitely the most difficult section for the car, as we jump ahead a little bit and go through the section once again in lap number 4, as I was able to catch back up to the Porsche in front. So yeah, the car, as I said, very lively, very active on the rear. It is definitely not a car that I would call understeery, not at all, as the Porsche here goes onto the grass and then runs wide in the next corner, and I happily take the inside and take the place. And I think also the other guy behind, I think, who's also in an Acura NSX, also managing to sneak by. But yeah, the car is one that is not for beginners, I would say. I mean, you can definitely try, but if you don't know how to tune the car to be a little bit more stable, you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time, I would say. As I said, it is quite a handful with how it drives, and the other Acura NSX here trying to, or managing to do a switchback on me, go around the inside as I run wide at the exit of the corner, and well, manages to get ahead a little, but I still have a little bit of a better exit, or maybe this guy just has a little bit of a different tune on, since I am in the stock tune. As I said in the previous videos, I'm only gonna compare the cars in their stock form. I'm not gonna tune here, because that would just open a whole another can of worms where it's really hard to compare different cars. But yeah, for this car, as I said, definitely fun, definitely lively, but difficult to drive. And once again, I am a little bit, well, late on being able to control the car and then get it stopped in time or slowed down in time for the more sharp right-hander, and now find myself back in P7. So yeah, not managing to do all that great here. And we jump ahead a little bit again to the lap where I do a pit stop, and I really should have practiced this one, because, well, as you can see, a lot of people having that problem. This is one of the rare occasions where you actually have to brake a little for entering the pit lane. In a lot of tracks you can just barrel into it and the game will take over and slow down for you. For this one, you'll crash into the wall, as you could see, and it then resets you to the track or to the pit entry, and it keeps you there for a while, so you lose a little bit of time if you do that. So just a heads up for you, I definitely learned my lesson here. For this pit entry, definitely slow down a little so you can take that right-hander. The game is then gonna take over, but don't just barrel in and crash into the wall like I just did. Yeah, coming out of the pit lane, actually finding myself in P10, which wasn't great, but as I said, I did have a little bit of trouble on this track with this car. I generally am not the best on this track yet. It's still kind of new to me, I have to say, but it's also due a little bit to the car. It definitely is quite a handful to drive, and with these elevation changes and, well, sudden changes in direction where the car shifts balance and can get unsettled quite quickly, it, well, really needs to be handled quite carefully so you don't lose control. Managing to do this time, but a Porsche dives me on the inside and, well, manages to get by. I tried to get him back here, but I think we have a little bit of a battle for the continuation of this race. So another thing I want to talk about, because I've talked about that in the Lamborghini video as well, visibility. So mirrors in this car. Not as bad as in the Lamborghini, but also not great. You can see in the in what you can see here, there is no mirror visible at all. I can tell you that when I'm driving on my little bit wider monitor, it's a 21:9, I can see a little bit more. So I can see a little bit of the mirrors, but again, it's nothing compared to the Audi that I showed you last time, where you could clearly see that with the monitor fairly centered in the car, very visible, very well, it's not a small monitor, you can see quite a lot. It's quite nice to have that. In this car, quite like the Lamborghini Essenza, it is kind of difficult to know what's going on behind you if you just have to rely on the proximity arrows and just, well, taking a look with a look behind button. I think that's a little bit of a shame. There are a lot of cars that are that way, but I always feel like that's a little bit annoying. I mean, it's due to how the cars are set up in real life and how the driving perspective in Forza sometimes doesn't lend itself all too well to, well, just being able to do that. But yeah, you can see again, 2 people actually running off the track, and I barely managed to stay on as we are now in the last lap. I did jump ahead a little bit again because nothing very interesting was going on, and I don't want to show you like this whole race. It was quite long. But yeah, overall, now in P7, and I think when we get over the finish line, because the guy in front has a little bit of a penalty, and I managed to catch up quite just in time here. I actually managed to jump him into P6. So overall, from the incidents that I had, was okay, but from my pace, I definitely could have done better. But that is what this car is about. It can be very quick, as I know will show you this Hotlap. Driving on Barcelona, as I said in the previous video, which is my well, comparison track, and driving against the ghost of the Audi, which we did a 144.102 in the last video. Not the like perfect lap in the Audi, but I think a quite decent one. And well, the Acura can keep up, as you can see. The Lambo that I showed you also in the last video, that definitely struggled to keep up, or just wasn't able at all, and was like at the end 1.5 seconds behind. And well, I couldn't really get more lap time out of the stock tune of the Lambo. With the Acura NSX, as it's a very lively car and very much, well, it's a very fast car through corners, if you can manage to control the oversteer and the rotation of the car. It's definitely a good car to drive, but as I said, quite difficult to handle, and in my opinion also more difficult than the Audi, which just still is faster. So you can see I'm able to keep up, but well, not quite, and just falling behind a little bit. And you're gonna see, especially in the last 2 corners where I mess up a little bit, I'm gonna fall behind the Audi a little bit more, and you're gonna see over the line we are gonna be like about half a second slower than the Audi. Let's see what the time is gonna be in the end. I think it's gonna be a 144.646, yeah. So yeah, that's still way better than the Lambo. So the stock tune of the Acura is better, but as I said, it is more difficult to control than the Audi. So if you're just gonna drive stock cars, there's no real reason to take this car over the Audi unless you just enjoy the driving style. And I have to say, it is enjoyable to drive if you can manage to control it. And that's like the main thing I would try to change if I was to tune this car. Little spoiler, I might show you some of that in an upcoming video. I would just try to make it safer. Just try to make it a little bit more controllable, especially on throttle. Like, it is oversteery in some other situations as well, but especially on throttle, the rear can definitely come around, which can be helpful, as you can see in this corner. I really managed to throw the car in, get the rear around, and get this corner done quite well. That's the nice thing if the car is set up like this. But, well, in situations where you just, well, especially in a race, are a little bit under pressure and then make a little bit of a mistake, you can easily lose the car. And that's the main problem that I have with this car. As I said, it is quite nice to drive. It's fun, definitely, but not a beginner car. And yeah, I would definitely try to fix the oversteer a little bit if I were to tune it. And, well, I think it can be a very competitive car if you do that. Can probably also make it a little bit faster for sure. But yeah, that's it for this comparison with the Audi and for the quick look at the Acura NSX. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that you learned something. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do so. It will really help me out. But yeah, I've been HD Racing. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.